Our first segment is your favorite TV show of all time. And when I say that, I mean the show that you can watch every day for you just never get tired of the show. Carlos, Mr. Stovetop Stuffing. What is your favorite show?
Well, let's go right with stovetop stuffing. Come on, man. I'm going to make CJ happy. The Dave Chappelle Show.
Really?
Come on,
Okay.
man. You can watch Dave Chappelle over and over and over again, and I will just keep laughing forever and a day. I mean, you can talk about what Tyrone Bigsby. You can talk about Dwayne Brady trying to take his show. You can talk about with the Black Klansman. Man, it just goes on and on. It's a crazy look at the world we live in. And even though that show, I think, first premiered almost 20 years ago,
Almost 20.
Yeah,
it's
2004, I
still
think.
it's still pretty relevant, and
It
he's
is.
he's making relevant jokes. I mean, they're jokes about things that happen in everyday life, and through his eyes, and it's just hilarious. And I got to give an honorable mention to my man Martin Lawrence, because I can still watch the Martin Show. I can watch all the episodes, Tommy Hearns and Brother Man, and all the Jerome is in the house. Man, I can watch that forever too. But Chappelle Show wins it, in my opinion. And you guys, I know we got a lot of shows on the list that you're going to bring up, and there are a lot of great shows, but those are Chappelle one and Martin a close second.
Okay, well, Donna, what say you?
Well, I haven't had a fit TV for 15 years, so I can't really.
That's okay. What do you remember?
I'm just going to tell you what
Chappelle
from my
Show
experience. From my experience, I think that The Wire is a most magnificent show for many reasons. First of all, it had 36 actors in 5 seasons, and most of them were melanated. It gave a spotlight to the city of Baltimore, maybe not the best spotlight, but a spotlight nevertheless. And that particular show in the 5 season, it was shot in that area. The commerce that happened for the Black community who had small mom and pops, even, people walk up and have a hot dog cart. All that was based in the middle of Baltimore. And I take my hats off to David Simon, who was a producer and really put a green light on Baltimore. Maybe not the best of green light, but then there's also Idris Elba. Let's not make that known. Right? That's really where he got his start. And numerous of others. I have a list here. Glenn Turman was on it. I mean, what goes on and on. So my pick is The Wire because it was well written. It was a commerce HBO special. People made money off of it. 36 actors had money, galore for the time they were on. And besides Allen Iverson, I think that's the best thing that ever happened to him.
Wow, man. See, look here. Donna's the only woman on the show. Now she's bringing all this logic and all this stuff to now we got to think and cerebral. Okay, let's see what we got. Colonel Garvin, what say you?
So I tell you what, I'm going to give you my top 4, and I'm going to begin with. I'm going to begin
Colonel,
with.
So I guess
I'm following right up behind Carlos. Right, Dave Chappelle is in a league of his own.
Yeah,
his skits are timeless. Right, and Carlos mentioned a few of them, but I also love the skit where they had the racial draft. The different delegations. There was a Black delegation, the Chinese delegation, and the Jews and what have you, and how the Black delegation drafted Tiger Woods as our #1 draft choice, right? To welcome him back into the thing. And then the white delegation selected Colin Powell, right? And the Black delegation said, on the condition that you also accept Condoleezza Rice, right? So he has some classics. He had
Yeah.
another one with the reparations, right? And they talked about how the price of Cadillacs, they sold like over 3 million Escalades as a result of black people getting reparations. And the largest company in the world had become Fubu and KFC, right? Were the two largest companies in the world. So Dave Chappelle is, and I still watch these skits today. If I want a good laugh, I will do that. Very second close is Def Comedy Jam, right? The Def Comedy Jam when Martin Lawrence was the host, right? And you know, they had stars that launched their careers like Bernie Mac was on the show. Chris Tucker was on the show. Robin Harris was on the show. So lots of that's it. And then my third one, George Jefferson, the Jeffersons. Man, I love that dude, man. Moving on up and everything. And then the last one I would put is In Living Color. Those are my top
Well,
four.
yeah.
Yeah, I love them. And Donna, I will say one thing about The Wire. It was a phenomenal show. Have
Yeah.
relatives that live in Baltimore. And in addition, Michael B. Jordan. He was a young guy
Yeah.
in The Wire, right? And now
Yeah,
look at
that's
he's a
all.
big megastar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many, so
Okay.
Yeah.
many.
Mhm.
All right.
So
So you planted your stake there, Eric. My goodness. All right, CJ. Tell us what you got.
All right. So we've had some great choices so far. I'm a big fan of The Wire. That's one of the best shows of all time. So definitely shout out to those big HBO legacy shows. I'm a big fan of those, movie style shows. Sopranos was the big one that kind of kicked the door down for these like cinematic, morally ambiguous, complicated plots. So definitely shout out to The Sopranos. I think for 5 seasons, the greatest show on TV was Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones in its prime was the greatest thing on TV. It had the culture in a chokehold. You could discuss it every week with your friends. And then it just had the worst ending we've ever seen. And nobody ever talks about it anymore. So, like, that was disappointing. I would have said Game of Thrones, but those last 2 seasons are so unbearably bad that it gets buried in the cultural zeitgeist. So, what I will say is my favorite show, I think, in terms of replay value, is Breaking
Mhm.
Bad. I think Breaking Bad is
Oh,
one of
okay.
the finest shows that has ever been made on TV. I think, especially upon rewatching it, it's one of those rare shows where the seeds were planted from the very beginning that lead to the end, and it has incredible replay value because you can watch some of the mysteries that were right in front of your face. It was great, great writing. Having the dad from Malcolm in the Middle slowly transform into a dangerous drug kingpin is like basically it's chef's kiss. They did a great job. So I'm gonna say Breaking Bad. I would say that Game of Thrones broke my heart because again that show was so good and I loved it so much, but the ending is so unbelievably bad that there is no defending it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Spivey, I'm gonna hold you for last because y'all done got me to the point where I want some of this now. So I'm gonna hold you for last. I think for
Okay.
my money, my favorite TV show I can watch all the time, and I still watch the reruns, In the Heat of the Night with Carol O'Connor and Howard Rollins.
That's a
I
good
could
show.
watch, and I still watch those shows. Oddly enough, I never watched the show when it was on, but when it came into reruns, I've probably seen every one of those episodes at least 3 or 4 times. And I love the fact that Carol O'Connor not only was the star, the executive producer, the director, but he wrote many of those episodes under the name of Matt Harris. And he casted and he gave a lot of black actors some prominent roles. And so for me, it's In the Heat of the Night. Now follow that, Mr. Spivey. You are our researcher. So but no pressure, but go ahead. What you got?
Well, girl, I hadn't even thought about it in the heat of the night, but the heat of the night was a good show, and it
Mhm.
did launch a lot of black actors, and one in particular, Harold Rollins, that played in the heat of the night. And Harold Rollins got his from Heat of the Night. He played in a movie you may not remember called Ragtime.
Ragtime. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Ragtime. But you know, my favorite show, and I have to say, uh, Carlos already took it from me, but my favorite show was Martin. Shanae, I still look at Martin reruns. Shanae and the when he plays the karate part, and also when he's the security guard. I mean, it just that show keeps me laughing. My third choice would be The Sopranos. Tony Soprano. It was a good show, but a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people remember the show from the killing in the show,
Mm.
but there was a lot of comedy in the show. I remember the time when Tony gave two of his guys, told them to go out and bury a body, and they went out and got caught in the snow and got stuck with the body in the car, and they couldn't get out of the snow. So it had a lot of hilarious things in it. And my last one, and I still look at it, was Sanford and Sons. Uh, Fred Sanford and Lamont and Aunt Esther. They just I can't say enough about them. So those are my choices. But
Okay.
Well, that's a circle back to Quincy Jones.
Yeah, that's right, because he did the theme.
He did
Quincy
that.
Jones, the
yeah,
theme song.
yeah.
Sure did.
And there's another show that I still watch. Believe it or not, it's been on for 23 seasons. Is SVU, Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Olivia has been on there from the time she was 25. I think she's now 50 some years old. And the reason that I've always liked SVU was SVU, if you remember, a lot of times the segments you see on SVU are real life segments that are going on in the country right now. You know, you may read of a homicide and you will see that acted out on SVU. So that's one of my favorite shows also.
Hey, I got a
Okay.
quick honorable mention since everybody had more than like two. How about the show that helped get President Obama elected? 24 showed us we could have a black president.
Oh yeah.
And he could be very authoritative, very he was a well-known prominent leader, and people believed in him. He played the guy, he went on to do the Allstate commercials, but I forgot what his name is. Dennis Haysbert, maybe that's what it
Yeah,
is.
that's who it is.
Yeah.
But
That's
he
who
played
it
the
is.
role so convincingly. I do believe that when the 2008 election came up, I think people could see Obama being president because they had watched the most popular show on TV for 2 or 3 years with Dennis Haysbert being president.
Yeah.
To me, I just think that added a little bit of something to it.